Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Victoria if you are new, and we are doing 31 days of Halloween. Today is day 4. We are going to be doing a clown look today. There's so many different ways you can do a clown. I'm a little nervous about what exactly it is I want to do. I kind of have an idea. I kind of have like a specific color story that I want to work with, and I think we're just going to kind of figure it out along the way. Alright, so let's get started. First things first, eyebrows. They gotta go. I will be using spirit gum to block out my eyebrows instead of a glue stick. You could definitely use a glue stick if that works for you. I've mentioned this a few times already, but my eyebrow hairs are very thick and unruly, and spirit gum does a lot better of a job holding them in place than a glue stick. And I kind of like to hold them separated as they dry, just so they stay separated, if that makes sense. They dry separated. And I'll just press it down with the end of my brush. Okay, so before I start my base, I am going to prime my face. I'm going to use the Charlotte Tilbury setting spray and the Milk Makeup Mattifying Poreless Primer in my T-zone. I'm also going to take that Pore Eclipse primer underneath my eyes. Now I'm going to set my eyebrows. It just helps the base go on a little bit smoother on the eyebrows. And I'm using the Huda Beauty Easy Bake Setting Powder in the shade Sugar Cookie. It smells so good. Okay, so for my base, I'm going to be using the white foundation from Sunset Makeup. I'm going to take a good amount because I want it to be pretty full coverage. I'm just going to apply it with the end of a brush, and then we'll blend it out with a sponge. Making sure to take it pretty heavy on my eyebrows. I really want them covered. Now I'm taking a sponge. Take some more. Anywhere I feel like I need more coverage. I feel like I still need a little bit more coverage on my eyebrows, even though I just went in with more. My eyebrows are already pretty dark, and on top of that I have micro shading. So taking my Mehron Paradise makeup, a little bit of water and a brush, I'm just gonna press that onto my eyebrows. And before it dries completely, I'm just making sure I'm buffing out the edges into that white foundation so it's not like a very obvious difference. Okay, now I'm gonna set my face, and I'm gonna use the Mehron setting powder. I'm gonna do my under eyes first and use a powder puff. Okay, now I'm going to use a brush for the rest of my face. Okay, so for color story, I was originally thinking pastels, but now I'm thinking more like moodier pastels, if that makes sense. So like kind of muted colors. My biggest inspirations for the colors that I want to go for is the Aurora Struck palette from ColourPop, and also the Odin's Eye Jewels and Gem palette. This color story specifically just totally speaks to me. So we're thinking like mauve, taupe, blue gray, and maybe even some iridescence I kind of want to play with. And then also kind of want to add black accents, so like maybe black eyebrows, maybe black lips. Yeah, let's do black for the eyebrows. So I'm going to map out my eyebrows with the Anastasia Brow Wiz, and I don't want them too high, but I do want them to have like that inward curve, kind of like Tim Burton eyebrows, a little bit above my natural brow, and I think it'll touch the top of my natural brow on the ends here. So to darken them up and line them, I'm going to be using my Glisten palette that I customized, and I'm going to use the black one here, liner brush. want this little top part right here to be more defined. So I'm going to use a tinier, more precise brush. Okay, so to start my eyes, I'm going to use the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Eye Primer. I'm just tapping that in. Okay, so I'm going to start by taking the shade Elation from the Odin's Eye palette, which is like a matte mauve. I'm going to take that right under my actual eyebrow. Lightly tapping it upwards onto my eyebrow. And I'm kind of creating this little shape here that kind of goes toward the lift of my brow, of my drawn on brow, my clown brow. Now to blend out the edges, I'm going to use this lilac shade here in the Aurora palette. It is the shade No Sleep. Using the same brush, and I'm just going to tap along the edges. And on the outer corner here, I'm going to take the shade Transition, which is like a dusty blue-gray. I'm going to use that same lilac shade from the Aurora palette to also blend out these edges. And to deepen up the outer corner and the inner socket, I'm going to take this darker purple here. It is the shade Intoxication. I'm taking it just under to where that mauve shade ends. I'm gonna go back in with Elation. So I want a shimmer on my lid. So first I'm going to take the About Face Fluid Eye Paint in the shade Vintage Granada. It's like a very cool toned maroon, purple. Just taking a tiny bit on the center of my lid. This is basically going to act as a base for this shimmer that I want to use. So for the shimmer, I'm going to take, it's like a matte base with a glitter in it. It is this shade here. It's called Dynamo. And I'm gonna press that on. A very subtle shimmer. I think I need more shimmer. I want a little bit more of a pop. So I'm going to take the NYX Glow Shot, and this is the Come Through Coconut. And I'm not gonna take it directly on the lid. I'm just gonna put a little bit on my hand, my finger. Just tap it on. And I'm gonna keep doing that until I'm happy with the sparkle. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring that Elation shade, which is that mauve, down to my nose and kind of contour my nose. So for my nose, I'm going to take that like lilac shade that I used to blend out the edges of my eyes, which was the shade No Sleep from the Aurora palette. I'm basically just going to take that all over the tip of my nose. Taking a little bit of that Elation. A tiny amount of the dark purple, which was the Intoxication shade. Just done a little bit. I'm going to do the lower lash line now. And I think I want to do that dusty blue teal shade. To start the lower lash line, I'm going to take some of that black liner that I used for my eyebrows. I'm going to draw an extended lash line underneath, if that makes sense. So I'm also going to do a regular winged liner on top. So I'm going to take my Hydro Grip Primer in this, so just my lower lash line. I'm going to take that blue gray that I used on the outer corner, which is the shade Transition. I'm going to take that same black liner and I'm going to draw that triangle. So looking straight on, I'm going to try to get it directly in the center. Start here. I think I might go through the blue, but I think for now I'm just going to start here. And I think it'll go down to about here. And I'm gonna fill that in. Now I'm going to take a little bit of the Elation shade. I'm going to take it right under the lash line. I'm going to use some of this shade Ecstasy. It's very similar to that like lilac shade I use. It's very similar to the No Sleep shade, just a little bit more muted, a little less purple, a little bit more taupe. Okay, and for blush, I want something a little bit brighter, so I'm going to use this one from ColourPop. I think it's so cute, by the way, and it is the shade Baby Cakes. And I'm gonna go very lightly at first and just kind of build it up, keeping it very circular. Okay, I went ahead and did the other side, and I kind of did my best to make them as symmetrical as possible. So this one is a little bit altered, kind of altered them as I went along. So I'm going to line my lips with black, using that same black liner, and they are going to be overlined. I think we are going to go with an all black lip. We're going to try an all black lip and then see how we feel. I'm going to use this lipstick from Melt. It is the shade, I believe it's called Shade. I think we might add some sparkle to the lip. I'm going to take this middle shade and I'm just going to tap that on the center of my lips. I knew we needed to add some more sparkle somewhere. How dark this black lipstick is makes me kind of want to go back over the like triangles with it. I can't find my black pencil liner. I'm going to use this black eye paint from About Face as liner in my waterline. Kind of fading that into the blue shade we have here. Transition shade, that's literally what it's called. We got the transition shade and the shade. Now I'm going to draw circles on the outer parts of my lips using black. Use that black liner. Gonna extend the lips a little bit more. I wanted to do some shading around the mouth. I'm going to start with this shade here, which is kind of like a matte muted purple. Then adding a little bit of Elation. I feel like we need a tear, so I'm going to draw a tear here. And we're going to add lashes. I'm going to use these that I got off of Amazon. So before I do bottom lashes, I want to extend this triangle up to my eyeball. So when I wear the all black sclera, it'll kind of look like it's connecting. So I'm going to take the About Face and I'm just going to fill that in here. I'm just creating a little inner liner here. Now for bottom lashes, I'm going to use these that I also got off Amazon, and we're going to glue them down here. This is actually my first time trying the Melt lipsticks, and oh my god, it's wearing so beautifully. It feels so lightweight on the lip. I'm going to take some micellar water, and the way I'm wearing, you're not going to really see this. I just kind of want to do it just cause. I want to kind of create a mask effect here. And I'm gonna line it with just my NYX Epic ink liner. Pretty much just fade it out in my hairline here. I'm going to add my contacts, the wig and everything, reassess, see if there's anything else I want to add, and I'll be back. Okay, I feel like I look very terrifying, which is great. Got my balloon, got my party hat that you can't really see down here. Got some balloons in the background. My gloves. Got the black sclera contacts in. Did have a very hard time putting this one in. Messed up the under eye on the side, so I had to kind of redo it. That was not fun. I did add highlight to my nose, a little bit on my upper lip, and then I added some very subtly in the inner corners of my eyes. I feel like I just needed something above that little inner wing. Yeah, so this is the final look. What do you guys think? I was telling my husband that I feel like I captured the feeling of the uncanny valley, something not quite human, but human enough that it's very uneasy to look at. And I feel like that's what I accomplished here. All right, that is day 4 of 31 days of Halloween. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you next time.